Enter the dark empire of the only mafia boss richer than Elon Musk, a $47 billion underworld tycoon whose deadly power and luxury makes Silicon Valley look tame. From the roaring 20s to the modern era, these underworld emperors have rewritten the rules of wealth, luxury, and fear, operating empires that stretched across continents and left governments trembling in their wake. Let's start by setting the scene. The world of organized crime has always been synonymous with danger, but for the select few at the very top, it has also meant unimaginable riches. Al Capone, the infamous Chicago kingpin, built a fortune estimated at $1.3 billion in today's money. He lived like royalty during the chaos of Prohibition, ruling over a city with an iron fist. His empire was built on bootlegging, illegal gambling, and a network of loyalty enforced by violence. Capone's lifestyle was the stuff of legend. Opulent mansions, bulletproof Cadillacs, hand-tailored suits, and diamond-studded accessories. Yet, even Capone, with all his notoriety, was just a precursor to the new breed of mafia billionaire, figures who would take criminal entrepreneurship to unprecedented heights. Fast forward to the era of global drug trafficking, and you find names like El Chapo Guzman, whose Sinaloa cartel generated an empire worth $1 billion. El Chapo's operations were vast, sophisticated, and deadly. He owned private jets, beachfront mansions, armored SUVs, and even custom escape tunnels that cost millions to build. His bribes bought governments, and his escapes from maximum security prisons became the stuff of legend. But El Chapo's wealth, while immense, was still dwarfed by the fortunes of other criminal masterminds who followed. Among the most notorious was Griselda Blanco, the cocaine godmother, whose net worth reached $2 billion. Blanco's reign over Miami in the 1970s and 80s was marked by excess and brutality. Her homes were palaces of marble and gold, her closets overflowed with designer fashion, and her arsenal included diamond-encrusted pistols. She even purchased a private island in the Bahamas for quick getaways. Blanco's empire was built on fear, violence, and an uncanny ability to outmaneuver both rivals and law enforcement. But it was in Italy, the birthplace of the Mafia, that the criminal underworld saw its most audacious and wealthy boss, Francesco Schiavone, known as Sandokan. Schiavone led the Casalesi clan, a branch of the notorious Camorra Mafia, and built a criminal fortune estimated at $47 billion, far surpassing even the likes of Elon Musk. Unlike his predecessors, Schiavone's empire was not built solely on drugs or gambling, but on control of the construction industry, state contracts, and most infamously, waste management. His clan monopolized highways, apartment complexes, shopping malls, and through illegal dumping of toxic waste, turned environmental crime into a gold mine. Every business in his territory paid tribute, and those who refused faced swift and brutal consequences. Schiavone's lifestyle was the epitome of mafia luxury. He lived in palatial compounds adorned with marble floors, gold fixtures, and stolen artwork from Europe's greatest museums. His private estate featured swimming pools, tennis courts, and even a private zoo stocked with exotic animals. The garages housed dozens of custom Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and vintage classics, each armored and equipped with secret compartments. He dined in luxury hotels he owned, partied in exclusive nightclubs, and wore diamond-encrusted Swiss watches paired with hand-stitched Italian suits. His power was so absolute that he became a king without a crown, ruling over southern Italy with a mix of fear, bribery, and strategic alliances. What made Schiavone twice as dangerous as any corporate billionaire was not just his wealth, but the way he wielded it. His fortune was built on blood and environmental devastation, his reach extending into every corner of society, from politicians to police, from legitimate businesses to the darkest corners of the underworld. He didn't just buy luxury, he bought silence, loyalty, and, when necessary, violence. The Casalesi clan's grip on the region was so tight that even the Italian state struggled for decades to bring him to justice. Eventually, after years on the run, Schiavone was captured in 1998, but the shadow of his empire still lingers over southern Europe, a testament to the enduring power of organized crime. The story of the world's richest mafia boss is more than just a tale of excess. It's a window into the dark side of capitalism, where the rules are written in blood and enforced with fear. These criminal billionaires lived the real Dubai lifestyle long before it became a social media cliché, their lives a blend of untouchable luxury and ever-present danger. Their mansions were fortresses, their parties spectacles of wealth and intimidation, their every move calculated to maintain power and evade justice. While tech moguls like Elon Musk build rockets and electric cars, mafia bosses like Schiavone built empires on the ruins of law and order, proving that in the shadows, wealth and danger often go hand in hand. So, as you marvel at the fortunes of today's tech titans, remember that there are figures in the underworld whose riches were earned not through innovation, but through domination, whose power was not measured in stock prices, but in the fear they inspired and the empires they carved from the darkness. The only mafia boss richer than Elon Musk didn't just chase wealth, he redefined what it meant to rule, leaving behind a legacy that is as chilling as it is awe-inspiring. While most billionaires showcase their wealth through media appearances, TED Talks, and philanthropic ventures, mafia tycoons like Schiavone operated in silence, building shadow empires where visibility meant vulnerability. Their secrecy wasn't just a tactic, it was survival. But make no mistake, their behind-the-scenes lifestyles rivaled and often exceeded those of the flashiest celebrities and CEOs. Francesco Schiavone's network extended through Switzerland, Eastern Europe, and even parts of Latin America, with money laundering operations so complex that even seasoned financial experts struggle to trace them. His offshore accounts, real estate portfolios, and shell companies created an intricate financial web that funneled billions through legitimate-looking businesses. He controlled ports, trucking companies, and even food distribution chains, allowing him to blend seamlessly into the fabric of everyday commerce while staying firmly in control of criminal enterprise. What made Schiavone particularly formidable was how he blurred the lines between legality and illegality. Unlike cartel lords who operated outside the law, Schiavone infiltrated it. He had politicians on his payroll, judges in his pocket, and government contracts funneled through puppet companies. The Casalesi clan even funded political campaigns to ensure their interests were protected from the highest levels of office. It wasn't just criminal might that kept him in power, it was institutional complicity. This created a near-impervious wall of protection, allowing his clan to dominate not just local communities, but national industries. Every construction project, every waste removal contract, every apartment complex was a brick in his $47 billion fortress. And then there was the cultural influence. Schiavone wasn't just feared, he was mythologized. In towns across Campania, murals of Sandokan appeared alongside whispers of his generosity. He funded local football teams, paid for weddings, and even provided financial aid to struggling families, creating a twisted sense of loyalty. To many, he wasn't just a crime boss, he was a provider in a region the government had long neglected. This blend of terror and admiration gave him a grip on society that extended far beyond violence. He became a cultural figure, untouchable, legendary, and in some eyes, heroic. Even after his arrest, Schiavone's influence didn't vanish. The infrastructure he built was too massive, too entrenched. His successors picked up where he left off, and his fortune, hidden in assets spread across Europe and the Middle East, continued to fund operations. Some reports suggest that even portions of the Italian fashion and real estate markets saw investments linked to Camorra money. That's the true legacy of Schiavone's empire. It outlived him. It wasn't just about one man's wealth. It was about creating a system so profitable and so durable that it could survive any crackdown. Compare this to Elon Musk, a man building electric cars and launching rockets, yes, but also operating in a world of quarterly earnings, board meetings, and regulatory oversight. Musk's fortune, at its peak hovering above $250 billion, is transparent and volatile, subject to public perception, stock markets, and investor confidence. Schiavone's fortune, though smaller on paper, was pure liquidity and raw power. It wasn't listed on Forbes, but it bought obedience, fear, and entire towns. It wasn't about market cap, it was about total control. This comparison isn't meant to glorify organized crime. Rather, it's a stark illustration of how wealth, no matter how it's earned, can build empires that challenge the structure of states. Schiavone and others like him weaponized capitalism itself, exploiting its loopholes, co-opting its institutions, and mimicking its structures to build dynasties with no IPO, no board, and no accountability. The lavish homes, the fleets of exotic cars, the diamond watches, these weren't just symbols of wealth, they were instruments of dominance, psychological warfare meant to show that in this world, money doesn't just buy luxury, it buys immunity. And therein lies the most chilling truth. While governments debated policy and enforcement, mafia bosses built alternative economies that thrived in the shadows. They became not just criminals, but power brokers, shaping communities, influencing politics, and dictating the rhythm of life in entire regions. Francesco Schiavone's story is not just about being richer than Elon Musk, it's about what that wealth meant and how it rewrote the rules of power itself. In the end, when we talk about the richest mafia boss in history, we're not just talking about money, we're talking about legacy, fear, and influence. We're talking about a man who turned a legal enterprise into a global business, whose silence was louder than headlines, and whose power came not from innovation, but from absolute control. In that world, he wasn't just a kingpin, he was the king. So what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more such content.